I moved to Cincinnati, Ohio the day after I graduated to run sort of media for a congressional campaign. And I did that for 5 months. We lost a very close race, and I soured on politics. And I'd been offered the job at McKinsey while I was a senior, deferred it for a year to work on the campaign. And so in May, I moved back to New York to take that job. And, you know, as an analyst at McKinsey & Company, I was exposed to a wide variety of business, but it was never entirely fulfilling for me. I learned a lot, and I was working with truly spectacular people. But there was something creative that I was looking for. And I've always really admired storytellers and directors. And so what I was looking for, I think, was a way to combine my natural inclination towards business with a real admiration for and desire to work in a creative industry. I realized that I've always loved movies, so I, left New York and moved to Los Angeles. My second night in Los Angeles, I had a drink with a friend of a friend who was an assistant at Creative Artist Agency. A friend of hers happened to stop by and said, "Oh, there's an agent at CAA who's looking for an assistant. I think you guys would get along really well. Send me your resume, I'll pass it along." Did that the next day. Thursday, I had an interview with a woman named Rowena Arguelles. Friday morning, she called me and offered me the job. Not only was she the one that offered me my first job, but I feel incredibly blessed to have had her as a first boss in Hollywood. I've actually been blessed quite a bit with some phenomenal creative bosses as well. I was fortunate enough to work with both Sidney Pollack and Anthony Minghella during the last year of their lives. And I mean, their work professionally as filmmakers speaks for itself. I mean, I could go on literally forever. Their filmography is astounding. But I think even more importantly, they were gentlemen of the highest order, and in a business that doesn't necessarily reward that on a regular basis, having them as a model for how one can do that and be successful is something that I return to on a consistent basis. I don't even know that I can verbalize what I learned from working for Sidney Pollack and Anthony Minghella. There are things about story, and there are things about what makes a great movie and what makes a great story. But really, I think it is just further how to be a man, which I think is actually maybe more valuable.